pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Okay, amen. Everyone's in order.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So I'm gonna read the check. Only $1,497.80. Kristen Patch. We have an ACH payment.
You want 'em?
Right.
You never know.
$220,265
Swayze.
for Sweden.
Yep.
Shoot, afraid that something's gonna happen.
I didn't do it.
I had to leave last night.
I don't blame you.
I'll take the big one.
Ready?
Bring when you want.
Andrea Bickham, 636.14, Joseph Bird, 923.64, Katie Blazicki Hearn, 608.31, Kendra Brackett, 535.96, John Bryant, 543.03, Karen Clement, 1,098.37, Jeffrey Collins, 679.82, Katie Coppola, 183.20, Keith Culligan, 410.41, Elizabeth Sanuski is 223.49, Michael Dame, 706.19, Kiki Dennis Wall, 713.55, Robert Gagnon, 359.97, Jason Gagnon, 201.16, Shayla Gherkin is 87.73, Andrew Graves, 508.14, Lily Grodzinski, 48.25, Mary Lyons Hall, 157.92, Kip Kaiser, 773.81, Joyce Keeble, 500.68, Matthew Kelly is 598.58, Kevin Nealon is 822.64, Timothy Labonte is 413.36, Sawyer Marquis is 27.70, Sarah Parkhurst is 726.82, Wayne Robinson 946.12, Stephen Forza is 821.25, Thomas, I want to massacre this one, Soterkopoulos 161.61, Christopher Spitaleri 855.98, Katrina Tennant 485.69, Josh Turner is 456.31, Dan Wicks is 1,342.79, Janice Weirs 779.19, Jeremy Worcester is $1,087.26, Daphne Ross is $711.27, Jared Brett Ward is $1,402.34.
For a total of $21,537.88.
Grand total of $22,035.68.
Yes, sir.
One voided check to Casella Waste.
Yeah.
That's right there. Can you just down? No.
Are you done doing now?
You go with the mill? Sure. Okay.
When you're ready. ASAP Landscaping is $3,750, Bob Septic Service $295, Karen Clement $9.47, E&J Auto Parts $71.44, Jonathan Ellison is $62.72, Eversource is $814.27, Great American Finance is $317.09, Joyce Kegel is $38.64, Liberty International Trucks is $207.01, New Hampshire Fish and Game is $1,122.50, North of Boston Media Group is $212.64, Christian Cash is
Sorry, hold on one second.
Those should be on the tape.
Oh, okay. I see it. All right, thank you.
Kristen Pash is $509.80. Richie McFarland's is $3,300. Transportation assistance is $750. Title communication is $206.84. Ultra automotive repair is $40. Union Leader Corp is $155.50. UniFirst Corp is $101. $184.52. Valak is $186.45. WM Corporate Services is $1,003.80. WB Mason is $62.84.
Grand total of $13,220.53.
We had 13.5 hours of overtime in the PD. We had 0.5 hours of overtime in the highway.
3 red checks. Thank you, Joyce, it's your turn.
Okay. Previous balance, $4,632,605.45. The deposits this week were $65,965.85. The payroll was $22,035.68. The payroll tax was $5,281.94. The AP was $233,485.53, with a payment to Swayze for $220,265, and the AP checks are $13,220.53. Voided checks, $1,337.30. The account balance this week is $4,439,105.45. Interest earned year to date, $1,129.76.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Motion for the minutes?
We have a motion for the minutes, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion for non-public?
Thank you. We have a motion for non-public, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Charles Graham Mason, 51 Spruce Ridge Drive, electrical permit for a 24x20 garage. Elsa Hunter, 77 Hague Road, electrical pool install, pump filter and lights. William Dunham, 9 Walk Drive, remodel master bathroom. Wright Builders, 25 Route 107, plumbing for new home. And Keith Paul, 87 Lightfoot Lane, replace floor, cabinets, and countertops in kitchen.
In the notes, I attended the school board meeting last night and found out the final number of the unrestricted balance that we would be receiving is $225,000. Last time I reported, we thought it was gonna be about $210,000. Jonathan, you went to a Conservation Commission meeting last week.
Yes.
Could you give us a summary?
It was just your basic conservation committee meeting. I mean, nothing really went, we just spoke about how they're gonna have the canoe trip down next to the river, so that's something that's gonna be going on soon. And that was pretty much the extent of it, so.
Thank you. We're gonna sign some documents.
This is an intent to cut for 3 Ponds Phase 2.
Motion?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I have no
Aye.
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 And I have 2 land use change tax bills and warrants for 8 Mill Road and 402 South Road. They both disqualify for current use on 12/28/20. and they sold for $125,000 per lot, so that is the number that Jim would use to estimate market
Do we
value.
need a third? Okay.
So the top page is the warrant for each, and then the signing is and then you have to sign the bill as well.
Okay,
Motion?
do we have a second? All in favor?
Yes, last week you asked me to look up what's in the capital reserve fund for highway vehicles. And the current balance year to date is $122,591.41.
Hold on one second. Can you repeat that, the amount?
$122,591.41.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're the best.
I'm sorry?
Did he provide an earnest?
Probably should get a used one, because the new ones keep dying. The technology and the new one keeps shutting off. It's no good to have a car.
Time
that
to open the
shuts off.
bids.
This is the stand.
Okay.
Do we wanna do Joyce first or choose you? Landscape over there?
Do the bids.
She's here for that too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I tried.
Yes, you did.
The bids first.
Okay.
This one is from ASAP Landscaping.
That's
which
our
is
current,
vendor.
okay. Total proposed cost for 2022 is $30,500. You can circulate that.
I can read it by then.
Karen, can you get a copy of that as well?
He's gonna choose way out of that.
Sometimes it's not easy. You can circulate those if you want. Commercial and residential property maintenance,
Great Horizons.
Great Horizons.
Did you have one of these already? Which one is the remaining?
You probably already said this,
And an extra copy.
but I didn't write it down anywhere. What are the costs that, for this current, for
This-
2020, 2021?
This current year budget was 30,000, so ASAP bid 30,500, but the increase in the 500 is because we added a scope for recreation to pay for infield mixing. So if you were to remove that cost, it would be level funded.
Infield, the baseball field?
Yeah, but Andy's gonna pick up that
Yeah.
extra cost.
Now, the town of Exeter, the baseball league gives us stipend.
Yeah.
Will can that go towards that, or is the stipend that they're giving us not enough?
I think that would still continue to happen.
Okay, all right, because the increase
Yeah.
we can have through the baseball league to pay for that
Yes.
through Exeter, okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna read these numbers.
You didn't
You
faint?
just gotta read the total.
Yeah, well, you have for 2022, they got 93,704. For 2023, it's 98,317. And then for 2024, they went to 103,307.
Normally, I would ask you to take these home and review them.
Are they taking over plowing?
Yeah, I know, that's. I think we had similar situations last year.
Yeah,
Wayne's like, I can hire somebody for this.
This is a joke, right? This can't be a real proposal.
He went from-
It is a real proposal, but I don't think it's one
And I
that's
think
gonna be
this year we had
considered.
30,000
Even-
even, right? Yeah, so they went up by $500.
Well, yeah, listen, I'm gonna switch jobs. I'll
And
take
that
it.
was because we
You had
had,
another one right there?
We-
No, that's enough.
have you been paying attention to anything Karen just said like 10 minutes ago? Okay.
So I know what I'm doing, I'm making a motion for 30,500.
We have a motion on the table for 30,000. Do we have a second?
Second.
Before we vote on that, I just want to make sure that we haven't had any issues with ASAP that haven't been resolved. Because I know the cemetery had issues last
I
year,
remember that, yeah.
so
Okay, well, Joyce is present, so is there anything, you heard the two bids, Joyce.
So the thing with ASAP was that last year, they were still under contract, it was still the 30,000. We went, had town meeting, we approved the budget, everything was fine, this is the way we roll. After we had approved the budget, they came to us and said, we need to increase, and I forget how much the increase was, but it was more than 500.
Yeah. It was
So,
about $5,000.
But we said no, didn't we?
Well, I wrote her back and I was like, I'm not doing this. This is, we have an executed contract and you had committed to a price. So if it costs you more money to provide that same service, that's on you.
Yeah.
So then she said, okay, I'll honor my contract. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad we settled that.
And now we're getting a bid of 30,500.
Yeah.
which is only 500 more than what it was last year.
Yeah.
When
But
they
the-
asked in the spring for a lot more.
Did they complete the job?
So, there are some years they do a bang up job. I do know when I call them and ask them to come, they do come. I do know I think it was last year or the year before, I had cemeteries that look like hayfields and I had people complain. I don't know if they did a great job this year knowing that we're going into the bidding year, I don't know. I mean, we've only got 2 bids, so I'm
We're
kinda,
only doing, it's only 1-year contract, so.
okay.
The only thing I've seen is the library field, and I've had to contact you. I've also contacted the library because, I mean, the library's had events there, and the grass has been up to, I would say, children's knees at that point. That's the one issue I have. But when I did speak to you, they did, attempt to come down right away. It's just, I think once we call them, they get on it.
So is that resolved now, the library?
The library was resolved. Yeah. Yeah.
And what John's saying is every time we do call them, they do try to come, and he does try, I will admit that.
Yeah.
But I do know, I've had conversations with him, it's hard to get help, hard to get good help. I did meet with him this spring, and the one guy he had on the crew, who was one of the foremen, was amazing. I was like, can you just clone yourself and make more of you, because you're so good.
Yeah.
They do try, I mean, they did a little bit more, like I said, this year. I don't know if it's because it's a big year, and I don't know if you do it just annually. I mean, one of my trustees is here today, I could ask you, Skip, what you think.
Pepe, what do you think?
I was pleased that they responded when I asked them.
And the way I look at it is it's a savings of 63,000.
Not just that, but I did speak to them in the library field a few times, and they are the most respectful. They're very nice. They're great. They're good. They wave at the kids. To me, I mean, I think, yes, when you call, you have to call them sometimes to get the job done, but we're in a time right now where no one wants to work.
Yeah.
So to find people to work for you is really tough. And you have that quote, and to be as respectful as they are when they are respectful, I mean,
And I like the idea that you guys are gonna do it for now, at least on a yearly
Right.
basis, because then that way we're not locked in, because where they did that increase, they actually were supposed to give us a 10% discount in the 3rd year, which would have been this year. So,
Any further comments? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I,
Motion carries 5-0. Joyce, you're up.
before we move on, Karen, if you can just put a mental note in your head, maybe when we do the RFP next year, there's a fine amount for every time we have to call because service isn't provided. Like this, at that price, there should either be, the RFP should be either weekly or bi-weekly, and if that's not happening, we have to call, there should be a fine amount in the contract that they're fined,
Penalty clause?
yes, for failure to provide service.
good call. I agree.
several years ago, I said I'd like to buy 10 or 15 plots.
He was expecting to eat a lot of food.
No, I was gonna sell them on the market, but that's not legal, no.
He wanted a rolling hill.
Okay, Joyce.
So basically, the reason that Steve and I are here today is that we do keep track of how many lots we're using and how many lots are left, and I can hand out the map that's here. Basically, doing the work this year, looking at it, I went, oh wow, we're at a tipping point. And I'll hand you guys the map, you can hand it around, because you probably need to see it. We can get it back, that would be great. So the sections that we're using right now are A through G, mine's A through G. We've used 247 lots, which is approximately 59%, which leaves us with 166 lots left, which is 41%. We're at the tipping point, we're halfway. We haven't used the last few lots, the H through K, mainly because of location. It's in the shade, it's the last place where the snow leaves, it's a little bit wet in the spring. Management-wise, we haven't really come to terms, how do we want to handle that corner? I know if we do paving, there might be some lots that get taken out for the paving. But basically, what we're going to tell you folks today is that out of 506 lots, 247 of them have been used. We have 259 left. That does include the reserves. So I've had people come to me and say, hey, I want to reserve lots. I have 26 reserves right now. That is included in the lots used, the 247. We've written letters to everyone who has a reserve. Those reserves have to be paid for by the end of the calendar year. January 1st, all the reserves go away. What we haven't told them is if they want to reserve again, they have to come see me. So basically, we are looking at a 50-50 split. Our question to the town and our suggestion to the town is that if you have town property, we'd like to be able to look at it as well and possibly set up for a new cemetery. Because we do have the right to allow people to be interred if they're Brentwood residents. And you might go, well, we don't really have that many going on. We do. As of this weekend coming, I will have done 10 interments. And I think it's in your packet that I handed to Karen. 2015, I only sold 4 lots and did 3 interments. 2020, I sold 11 lots and I did 10 interments. So far, year to date, I have sold 17 lots and done 9 interments. You've got more houses coming in, you've got an older population. We're kind of that impact at the tail end that nobody thinks about, but we do have to provide that service. The reason we're asking now is that it takes 3 to 5 years to develop a cemetery, and this will give us that buffer of time, see what's out there, what are our options, do we manage our one cemetery better? Instead of going last minute, like when how we came across Tonry was like, oh my God, we need to have a cemetery, where are we gonna get one?
If we provide you with a list of town-owned properties by addresses, you'll look at them and come back to us?
Sure, yep, and I can sit with Andrea and Glenn and, yep,
I have a color-coded map.
what was that?
I have a color-coded map.
Skip, do you have anything to add?
No, but just that we are obligated by the RSA's to provide burial plots for our citizens, so it's not a question of whether we want to or not.
Dead citizens?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's just your option.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
Have a
They
premature.
don't necessarily have to be.
Well,
So I guess basically what we're just asking or suggesting is that we as an entity would just like to come to the town, let you know, we would like to know if you would be willing to set aside land for development of a cemetery. I don't know what the next steps are. I have a New Hampshire Cemetery Association meeting coming up this fall. I know other cemeteries have done this, and I would just ask them, you know, what do you plan, what do you do? We can do the traditional cemetery, gardens of stone, but there's also hybrids doing forests, where you can do urn interments only in the forest. You can do a combination. We have a ton of opportunities and a ton of different options, but if we had land that we could look at.
I know when we were looking for spots for the police station. You know, there was one on Scrabble, there's some on Middle Road.
Or that field on your road.
yeah,
So yeah, we got a field on Middle Road.
but there might, isn't there a restriction on that it has to be mowed and it has to be maintained for town use?
Yes,
There's no building, yeah.
Dailies, yeah.
no permanent structures.
And that is,
Cemetery's mowed and it's not used.
I would check to make
Would you
sure.
consider those a structure? think so.
I would make sure that there was no restriction against it, yeah. Okay.
Because there are options that I've seen other states do, they're doing it in the Berkshires right now, and I've done it in New Jersey, they have conservation land that they've done exactly that, they've gone in, looked at what the easements are, and they have one in New Jersey, it's conservation land, and it's also a cemetery, but it's earn interment under a tree with markers, and they support each other. And it's kind of a really cool symbiotic relationship, so, I don't, like I said, I
Pepe,
don't
will you close the
know,
door, please?
I don't know what the whole end, I don't know what this next step is, the first step is just to let you know, we're
Okay.
running out of room.
Okay.
Not today, not tomorrow, but 3 to
Yeah.
5 years out.
Do we know anything about conservation land? Can it be used for anything?
Depends on
Not
how
my area,
the-
but-
It depends on how the easements are written,
Yeah.
so, some of the easements are pretty specific on what they want them to be used
Right.
for, and then there's other
And I
easements
think
that are
everything
kind
we
of.
have right now is managed by SELT, so that would be a SELT conversation.
Yeah.
A self-conversation?
Southeast.
Southeast land.
And I think maybe if you want, we'll take a couple of trustees and myself, and like even any of you folks, and just maybe make a committee to look into, what do we do beyond, we're running out of room. I'm totally down.
Are there any RSA's in New Hampshire that talk about utilizing other lands besides designated cemeteries?
Not that I know of, only that the town is supposed to appropriate money so that we can have such a thing, but I think that it's just kind of,
Okay. Well, that'll give Karen something to do
and I want to work
over
on
the
it.
weekend to research that.
You're giving her a weekend, that's awesome.
No, not really.
Around and shopping for
For cemeteries.
cemeteries. What have you been doing today? Cemetery shopping?
Karen, I can-
Any other comments regarding cemetery?
Or shopping?
I'm buried in it, so.
Anything else, Joyce?
That's it.
Okay, thank
Maybe
you.
some Black Fridays.
So my Fridays.
Okay.
You can take that.
The gentleman's name is?
Dana Hall.
Mr. Hall?
I would like to know if it's possible that I live on 8 Dalton Road, that we could have a no-through trucking. I understand local delivery, but I sat outside yesterday and there was tractor trailer trucks and a big tanker truck, just cutting through. And there's 2 little girls that move next door and a little boy across the street, and it's just, they don't go slow. I've walked down the street and have had to get out of the way because 2 great big 18-wheeler dump trucks are roaring down there, and they weren't doing no 30 miles an hour. So, I understand local delivery has to come
Okay.
through. Like the trash man, the oil man, the gas man, and all that stuff, but it's just cutting through. Didn't used to be like this when I moved here 35 years ago, but I just want to know if it could have a sign either side and hopefully cut it down, but
Okay, well, we'll discuss it with the police chief and with the superintendent of highways, Mr. Robinson.
I'll add to that, that it is, living right there, it is getting bad. And even having my son ride his bike to, actually the little boy who lives down the road, Caleb, I'm starting to get worried about letting my son ride his bike down that street or even to ride to school. It's getting pretty absurd with the trucks.
Are we talking about middle? I'm sorry.
No, Dalton.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Do you agree?
I agree. This road here,
Yeah.
if they don't need to be on there, then
Yeah.
I agree.
You live on it, what are your thoughts?
I don't see it, but I'm not home during the day anymore. But typically your request would come from the highway department, and then we would either approve or deny the request.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss it with the Chief Wicks. The superintendent already thinks it's a good idea, so it sounds like it's in the bag.
It's not really a police matter, it's a police matter to enforce it.
Yeah, well, I like his opinion. Yeah, that's all.
I need to research the statute too to see if we need to hold a public hearing or anything before you can.
What Karen just said is we have to research the RSA to ensure that we're following the directions of the law.
thank you.
All right. Any other comments?
I have something else that made me think of when we're ready for that.
Well, thank you very much for coming. You were early, so
What's that?
you were early. You want to stay for the rest of it? We don't have refreshments, I'm sorry.
Blame
That was Wayne was-
Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce.
This is a bid for sand from BB Trucking.
Did we get any other bids?
No, I did ask Hartman. Hartman lives here in Brentwood, but he has a sand gravel pulling agreement. I did ask him, but he doesn't have any sand. But I'm only asking for 500 yards of sand. We figured we got enough sand down there, but if I get about 500 more, that probably will do it.
Okay.
If we have a winter like we did last winter, the sand froze. And if winter freezes, I just have to use salt. And then I found out that we didn't use as much sand because some of the storms that we had, it was froze. We couldn't use it in the back of the trucks.
We have two different numbers. 500 yards at $22.02 per yard, $10,010, or 648 ton for $15.45 per ton, equaling $10,010.
So, did Karen do an RFP on this, and was there an official bid process?
So if it was coming in less than 10, he didn't have to do an RFP, so he thought at that price that it wouldn't come in at more than 10. So under 10, you could do just at request written bids that are sealed and open them that way, and not do a formal RFP.
I just remember the
Well, wasn't it,
mess that we were,
BB was the one that complained it 2 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically it's the same
Yes.
tire,
I mean, we should be having a
competitive.
procedure.
I understand what you're saying. Wayne, do you have any other contacts besides Hartman?
Oh, yeah, we could, we could call, Busby, Busby's Trucking, but they're out of town. Morton Salt, I called them last year, and, got a price from those guys, Morton Salt.
Okay. Could you get us two more?
Well, I think the problem now is
Is it
it's town
open
bid.
bid?
Open, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
What am I
ten-
saying?
Yeah, and now it's a public.
Sand,
now it's known now.
sand
it's
delivery.
what we
So
got.
what if
We
I
need
should-
to
we should put an
Put
RFP
something
out there,
in place
or
going
just
forward that,
decide that we're gonna pick one of those.
I think Wayne already contacted at least the vendors,
For
and
what's-
they didn't
Who?
respond, the other ones weren't
These are
responding.
different.
but I think it was just Hartman who
Yeah,
contacted.
they do, yes, okay, so we can get
You
500
know,
yards,
we had talked about
$20
contacting Wayne to see if they
per
would
yard,
price
which
it,
we requested
to
500
see if we
yards.
could get a discount,
Or
we did something.
we can get 640 yards for 1545
Probably gets it down in
at a
5.
ton, so
No, I
I mean,
think
it's gonna
he's
be the
gonna
same
go
price if we get,
Oh, he does?
you know,
I think he
the
does.
645 yards. They're just saying,
Just give him
listen,
a call.
if you get a higher amount, if you
Yeah.
get more yardage, we're
I
gonna
can
be paying
find
a
more
better
if you
price.
want.
And so which means you could just.
Well, Andy
we're gonna
brings
pay
up a
the
good
same.
point, because it's now a matter
So
of
it's just
public
on Andy,
record.
whether, you know, 500 yards. or
I don't know whether we're
648.
gonna get,
It's not fair to,
It's not fair to BB at this point, because we just opened up the bid.
okay, well, we have the two proposals, both for $10,010. So,
one proposal just written a different way.
Yeah, one's in yards, one's in ton. It's the same price, it's just, how do you want me to measure?
I thought it was rather odd, but it looks like two.
I'd rather go with the yards. That's why I'm asking for yards.
Okay.
When you go for the ton, when they haul it when it's wet,
You lose.
You lose, okay,
that's why I've asked for, you know.
okay.
What did
So
we
sorry,
spend last year?
500 yards or
Do we know how much we
648
spent
tons,
last
it's
year?
the same,
Karen?
that's all.
No, but I'll go get my budget.
Okay,
Well, can't go by budget because there's a lot more.
Last year.
You have to go by
Yeah, last
what we
year I
pay by
was.
yard.
How
Last
many
year,
yards did we get last year?
we got 2,000.
2,000? Oh, okay. So you're doing just a
But-
little.
so
You're only doing 25%.
you're you would prefer 500 yards.
500 yards, yeah. I can get it through when Chris Beebe can haul through all winter.
Yeah.
But I think we have enough to, what we did use last year, probably would get us through, but that's why I went with the 500 more yards, hopefully that will. If it doesn't, then we'll have them haul some more in.
Okay,
That's what That's what I was thinking.
And most of it goes into your little shed thing, right? How much
Yeah,
can
we
you put
mix
in there?
We mix the sand and salt, we mix it
But
all
when
up.
it
Actually,
freezes,
my sand and salt right now, that's full.
Yeah.
I got that full already from last year, so.
So then do you even wanna buy more sand if he's full?
No, he needs he needs it to get through it.
Mhm.
Cause he's talking about the pre-mixed, not just straight
so
sand.
I'm just wondering if you should have some type of tarp to stop the water from going in it, so it doesn't freeze again like you did last year. You know, tarp it over if you're gonna get it dumped, cause you can't mix it if it's frozen block of sand.
You know, it hardens up, and it's
Yeah.
frozen, and then you get it.
So that's
in
why
the
I'm
truck
wondering,
and
like,
go
if you-
put it out.
If he dumps all that load, then you put something over it.
We'll leave that up to you.
It's a big top for
So how much
500
did we
yards.
spend last year?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Well,
big time.
That's a
budget was
big
118,
tarp.
but that was
That's a
sand and
big-
salt.
Well, they make stuff
Oh,
to
yeah.
cap.
Yeah, they put the tires on it and everything else. And they put those in there, so.
Any other comments about the sand?
I move that we, award the contract to BV.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Okay. You got your sand, sir?
Okay, is Chris Beatty?
Yeah, that's Chris, yeah.
Chris Beatty, okay, that's fine.
And when you notify him, Karen, specifically say ton,
No,
Yeah.
yard.
yard, I'm sorry.
That's right.
We don't want it by weight, we want it by size.
I wrote myself a note, but I didn't read it, yeah. Okay.
Mr. President, we understand.
You know, I'm insulted now, Pepe, because our president, he's got a problem.
It's already selling you a lot, too.
I want several. I mean,
Several lots.
at $400, I could make a lot of money.
There's $400 for a lot?
Yes.
That's it? Oh, I'm getting my wife one. I mean, what?
Okay,
He's making the reservation.
I'm sorry, honey.
I'll sell you one for $480.
Whoa. Oh, supply and demand, huh?
Anything else, Pepe?
I'd just like to know, I saw in the Brentwood newsletter, they were giving a paid holiday. I was just wondering, the thinking behind that, honoring a state event rather than, let's say, the incorporation of the town, or the day that the Constitution was changed to free the slaves, or something else more general than the state.
The original thought was as an incentive to incentivize the employees, but he made the motion, so I'll let Andy address it.
I just wondered what the thinking was.
Cause it was a federal holiday,
Yeah.
so we adopted a federal holiday.
But I mean, for Brentwood to join, if we're gonna give a paid holiday, I would think it would have to have something to do with New Hampshire or Brentwood.
We currently give the employees all the federal holidays, so this is just continuing with the,
We'll do what, because I think it indicated in here that, it didn't indicate that they were all, paid holidays.
full-time employees get all the federal holidays, which are 12. So that was the thinking, it was a federal holiday, so we were just adding it to the current benefit package of paid federal holidays.
And I give myself, June 14th, because it is Flag Day, so. You gotta have June 14th,
Oh,
it's Flag Day. And he said it wasn't a holiday, and I said, I beg to differ, I was born on it.
It was a holiday for your father, but I'm not sure about your mother. That's not sexist either. Okay.
Oh, my stars.
Yes, sir?
Can we keep the train going down the tracks?
It's off
I
track.
think you're the one that brought it down the wrong track earlier.
I like it. Anything else, Pepe? Wayne?
No, I just wanted to let you know that, I'm still waiting on my big new truck, and they're gonna come and get the other truck tomorrow.
Okay.
Gonna pull it out of the garage and see if they can get it.
Okay, the new truck is still under warranty, but not the old one.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
But it's the old new truck, right?
I'm hoping it's under the warranty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well,
Cause,
do we not have the documents?
Name the trucks or?
Oh, yeah, let's name the trucks. The big new one is what called?
they're both internationals.
International one, International
2020, the 2020 is the one well,
Okay.
and that's still on warranty.
And what is the other
And the
one?
2011, that's not on warranty, that's already gone by.
Okay,
So what?
is
what
that
do we
enough?
do with the truck?
Name, okay.
I don't know if these guys weren't here last week, but, that 2011 truck, we've been having troubles with that since last winter. And I've got pretty close over $20,000 in that truck to keep that truck running from last year. And we're still putting money in it. And the problem is, it's same way with the new truck, is the computer stuff that's in it, and this DEF stuff that they have in them now. Well, whatever it does something to the motors, and with these computers in there, these trucks don't even have to run. You go get in them, you drive them all day, you park them, they're fine, you go get them, there's something wrong with them. They won't start, or something's wrong. So, trying to find the problem, they put a computer on there, yeah, it tells you a spot, but there's so much stuff that's in those trucks now, that when they go find it, they take stuff out of it, and it might not be the right thing they're taking out of it. Now, this truck, this 2011, we put the computer on it last week. It says the motor's not getting any oil. That's what it's saying. There's something wrong with the oil. So we took the oil pan out of the truck. Then there's a big pipe that goes to a pump in there, and we took, because they thought that might have been cracked. And we took that out last week. Our own guys did that down the shed, the boys did that. And took that out, we took it over to Louis over to LCB. He checked it all out, and there was nothing wrong with that, nothing. So we put it all back together. And now he thinks it may be the pump that's in the motor for the thing. So we're going into it now to get into the pump to see if there's anything wrong with the pump. Now, we sent it to Mahoney's, and they went through the same thing with that truck, and they had to hunt of what the problem. They even put the computers on there, and it went from there to Liberty last winter, and they did the same thing, and it ended up, they couldn't find the problem, and we took it to Louis over there. I took it over there for a sticker, told him what was wrong with it, and he said, well, I think I know what's wrong with it. And it was an injector. That's what started it all. This was an injector that was cracked down in the motor, and we had it running perfect. We had it really running good. We got it all going a little while ago, and we had it fixed. We put it in there, and then now it's starting to do this again. So that's really what we're not the only guys here with the truck. There's a lot of them. A lot of them
Well, you were saying
going through
the
the same
parts
thing.
are hard to get, right?
And parts, right. They told me a week or so ago that when I took it up there, that it was gonna take 45 days to get a part for that truck. And they're hoping it's a sensor, because when I took it, they fixed it. They warrantied everything that they fixed when I took it up there, but it was a fuel rail that was broken in the motor. And they fixed that, and they warrantied it, sent it back down. I went up, told me come get it. I went up and get it. Before I got back down here, the engine light came on. That's why it's up there now. And on my way up there, I noticed on the dashboard that the DEF, says the DEF tank is empty on that, and it's supposed to keep that up pretty full, much as we can. And I stopped the truck, I get out, and I looked in it, and it's full. So I told him, I said, I don't know if the gauge is wrong or something, but the tank is full. It was full. And they think it was a sensor. That's what's doing it. So, and I haven't heard from them since I left it there. I haven't heard. They told me it was gonna be 45 days for the parts. Well, actually, I went up and got parts last Friday for the 2011, and the service guy up there said, you won't believe this. He said, We got 5 more trucks just like yours sitting out back right now, they just came in, all
Sounds like we stopped by internationals.
of them. Yeah.
I think so.
We get some really old clunkers that just keep
Well,
fixed.
you know what,
We
Mac,
keep getting rid of them.
I know, keep the old ones and give it.
that's what, Mac, I said, well, geez, we'll go to Mac, we could get trucks off in Mac. They sold Mac up there in Manchester. The guy, whoever bought that up there, they took any truck that's over 10 years old, they took everything right off the lineup. They don't even deal with them, anything.
Why don't we go see Jim Misha, and just get one of those big, huge, heavy machinery equipment and just drive down the road with one of those
I
things?
guess even some of the other companies with trucks, they're all having the same problem. The guys, Chris Beebe was telling me, he's got a brand new truck, he's gotta go put a new motor in his truck. I said, you gotta be kidding me. But,
And they're expensive, that truck was $160,000, wasn't it?
yeah. Yep,
Thanks, Wayne. You always bring us such good news.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, we don't have anything else for public, right?
Yeah, we do.
I
John
just-
has,
I'm sorry, John.
Just a quick question. So, because this has been on my mind for a little while now, and I keep forgetting to bring it up, this is a question. I drive, I live on Lake, so I drive on Lake in Hague pretty frequently, and with soccer practice or whatever, I'm on South, heading I'm on whole length of South, this side of 125, and then I'm on, I run on Middle as well quite a bit. And I don't know if it's just me or if I'm just like paying attention more. I see a lot of people walking their dogs, and some people even like running on the right side of the road. And just from a safety perspective, especially on some of those roads with people, not supposed to be, but checking their cell phones, kids driving, trucks like we were saying on Dalton, just makes me a little nervous that I see it as frequently as I do.
Well, I know Thad got hit the other day on Middle Road.
Did he really? Is he all right?
Yeah, the person's windows fogged up and they went into his shoulder. Fortunately, he was running towards the car, so he
Well,
jumped into
but
the
this
ditch.
is
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and I don't know if we want to consider doing some sort of town ordinance. I'm not trying to be heavy-handed about this, but like, I'm just afraid someone's really gonna get hurt.
I heard someone once say you can't regulate safety because people will do whatever they want.
I mean, it's common sense to walk on the left hand, with traffic coming towards you, but when you're on a bicycle, you
You
have
follow
to follow
traffic
with
signs.
traffic, because that's,
That's
You-
law.
it's law.
You would think that
But
it's
it's
common
also-
sense, but like,
I know when I go running, I know on some of the corners, like on Hague, sometimes on that corner I might cross because I don't want to be on that corner.
no,
So I'll
yeah,
cross and I go back.
no, for sure. I mean,
Because you're like.
but I'm just saying, in general, I don't know if that's something that we want to consider or look at or make some sort of, hey, PSA.
Yeah, I know we
Yeah.
we addressed when we had the issues with the trash trucks, because
Mhm.
they were zigging
Crisscrossing.
for the longest time, we were like, yeah, stop.
I think I remember maybe when I got my license 100 years ago, that there is a state ordinance about going with the traffic. I'm not sure whether there's bicycles.
As bicycles,
Yeah,
that's,
bicycles.
I think that there is I think you're right, Scott. I think there's an RSA about bicycles following.
Yeah, I
Traffic
always thought
laws.
it's better to be looking at, because you can, if you're on a bicycle or walking, you know enough to get out of the way because a car coming, but if it's behind you,
You're
you're
dead.
not as aware that there's a problem there, but
Yeah.
there is some ordinance for bicycles anyway.
Like I said, I walk with the wife and kids and the dogs, and, there's always someone on Crawley Falls who is sitting on their phone, and, we're gonna have to like push everybody out of the way. It's just, no
But
matter how safe.
you're on the correct
And
side
we're on the
of the road.
correct side, yeah, but the whole thing is, there's always, you can't fix stupid, and we're doing the right thing by being on the right side, but you always get that person who's just not paying attention. It's, it's,
Blame the drivers.
well, that's it, it's,
They have to control your vehicles, so.
what?
They have have to control their vehicles.
Well, a lot of it is, yeah, and then, you know, they're all sitting on their phones nowadays, and it's getting a little ridiculous, but.
There was a law passed against that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Phones, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, on 125, I mean, you could
Well,
see if
Dalton,
you're.
I know this road is, that quick turn you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
got is crazy.
Good luck if you're on your phone with that one.
Well, the big rock is in the middle, so
Yeah.
We have plenty of big pines.
Oh, yeah,
you do.
I know you're
exactly.
just gonna drop them down.
But, I mean, to me, it's, I mean, what can you do? I mean, do you wanna send something on, is there, like, on the website for Brentwood and just say, hey, listen, please, make sure you're walking towards traffic, riding your bike on, you know, with traffic?
My ideas were PSA or town ordinance, just being like, hey, friendly reminder, you get a warning, but at some point,
I think we could put
someone's gonna get
PSA.
hurt.
Yeah.
I would-
Well, I think
PSA.
Karen's preparing one for the website, and she'll send a note to the newsletter.
Yeah.
How's that?
Maybe an announcement in the schools too, might work.
Yeah, just heads up,
Yeah.
especially the kids and stuff.
Sadly, it's all the adults that I see doing
Yeah.
doing
Well,
it.
I mean,
There was an adult that ran into it the other day.
my kids know better.
When the adult that was driving the car had two little kids in the car.
Are you all set with that, John?
Yep.
Okay, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
I make a motion to go into non-public in accordance with 91A, 311, A, B, C, D, E, and I.
Do we have a second?
in accordance with